Okay. Finally on. All right. I don't even have the. Do we have anybody in here? I don't even have the.
You don't have the what? You're leaving me in limbo here.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't have the video brought up.
Oh, the YouTube video.
Dude, this mouse keeps losing connection. It's driving me crazy. So.
This one doesn't because it is old school.
Nice.
Look at it.
Nice, dude.
That mouse tail.
What's going on in Texas? Anything?
Nothing really. Not that I'm sure there's plenty. I'm not paying attention to it though. I guess more Hurricane Harvey stuff and blah blah blah. I think I saw Josh Tolley post something on Facebook. It was funny. It had a picture of Captain Picard sitting on the bridge of the Star Trek Enterprise. Yeah. And it said every morning Texans wake up like damage report. You know, it's a damage report at the bottom. I was like, that's true. I think it's one of those you got to see to laugh. You watch Star Trek, that is.
Are you a Trekkie or are you a Star Wars guy?
No, I don't know that I would probably be more of a Star Trek guy than I am a Star Wars guy, but I'm not really either. Like, I really like science fiction. I like Star Wars. I like Star Trek. Dude. I've never really picked a side.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's kind of silly. I mean, I'm much more of a Star Wars fan, but I grew up watching Star Trek on TV every Sunday night.
I spent a lot more time as a kid watching Star Trek than I did Star Wars. But Star Wars was never a TV show either, really. You know, so I mean it's become cartoons in different capacities, but it's always been a hold on a second.
Well, they did make one TV show.
What, a Star Wars TV show?
Yeah.
Like what? It was the Clone Wars?
No, the Christmas special.
That was like a special. That wasn't like an ongoing series. I think for me, Star Trek was on every week, and so
yeah. But you probably watched The Next Generation. I watched the original.
I didn't see it air, but I watched the reruns. Bro, I went back and even watched the original cartoon from the 60s in full color. I bet you didn't even do that.
Did you see the one with the pentagram on it?
The cartoon one?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really remember. I've seen the pictures on memes and stuff, but I can't remember if I saw that one. Yeah. It was on Netflix for a while, and I watched it.
Yeah, they do have. We got a Spaceballs fan in the chat room. So, Battlestar. You know, the funny thing is, somebody mentioned Battlestar. Somebody talked about the new Battlestar Galactica. And it got rave reviews from people I really respect. Like, for one, Chris White. Everybody knows who Chris White is out there.
Chris White gave the new Battlestar Galactica, the 5 seasons that came on, he gave it rave reviews.
Yes, he did.
Well, screw that guy. And do you block that guy? You excommunicate him from Through the Black because that show was ridiculous.
Dude, I'm trying to finish my thought here, dude. Doggone it. What I'm saying is I bought the seasons, like the first 2 seasons, and I've never watched them because I don't have time. I don't like TV. But speaking of which, dude, I need to get out of here in like 30:45 because I do have a show I'm going to watch tonight.
What are you watching?
Don't worry about it. Just
what are you watching?
Get me out on time, okay?
All right. I'll do my best.
So, okay, you better start talking or I'm going to. What do you got? Please tell me, dude, that I forgot my pillow, so don't bring up Utopia.
Well, today I wanted to discuss the difference between utopias and uchronias. That's all I did today was listen to more of those lectures, dude. That was interesting. I'm not going to talk about it, but it did give me ideas. Dude, there's, no matter what rabbit trail you go down, right? You always find something pertinent to the stuff that we're interested in. I'm not going to talk about this for very long. I just had a very brief thought. As I was looking at a few different utopian texts, there was this idea, there was a debate that broke out during the time period in which these came out that the writers were using utopian future scenarios to sell the public on political decisions, right? And so there was an argument whether or not this particular type of literature had sway on people's political opinions. And it seems to be agreeable that in these time periods, and we're talking like 17 and 1800s, that if you could sell somebody on an idea of the future, you could sway them politically, and it could be intentional. And I just had this brief thought today. I was like, I wonder with science fiction if that's a deeper reality of the way that they push science fiction on us now is selling us an idea of the future that they're moving us towards, and we don't realize we're being sold in the process. I'm not. That's not the topic of tonight. It was just a thought. I'm sure somebody has thought a lot more about that than I have, but that was something that it seemed to be like a valid train of thought back then. People were questioning it even centuries ago. It has to still be going on. We know it is. Look, anyway, whatever.
Hey, do you remember the new V series that came out?
Yeah.
Did you watch that?
Part of it. I didn't watch all of it.
They only made like one season, right? Or two?
One or two. I think it was two.
I can't remember. But anyway, you watching that series in real time, this is kind of made me think about, what would you call it, predictive programming or propaganda placement or whatever. But when that series came out, things were happening like in real time on that series. This must have been right when Obama was elected, okay? Right around that same, man, it had to have been 08 when this came out. 08 or 09. This V series. So I was a fan of the original one because I watched it when I was a little kid, right? Lizard people walking around, and used to watch it. They had they had two miniseries, and then they had a series that came out on TV. So I used to love this show, and then they remade it. And dude, that remake was mirroring.
What do you expect me to do? I put you on the screen so no one had to watch me blow my nose. But what do you expect me to do?
You can mute it, dude. I mute it.
Talk about being real. Taking out the sounds of the show now?
Man,
what's up?
Constantly
getting
getting distracted by your
Continue with your story. Somebody blowing their nose distracted you, that you got problems.
Dude,
son.
Not somebody, my co-host.
I got 99 problems, but a runny nose ain't one on this end.
So, okay, some of the things that were going on in real life where birds were like dropping out of the sky, okay? And they were saying it was because of fireworks, it was on New Year's, all this stuff. And then on the TV show, which had to have been filmed before this happened, like there were dead birds laying all on the ground, stuff like this. And they had connections to the vaccines. I'm positive this came out in 2009 now because of the event. So anyway, I just thought that was fascinating. I just saw there were so many things when you watch that show that were happening on the show, and they were also happening in real life. And I don't know. That's just one of the things we talk about sometime on this show. And when you were talking about science fiction, that's what it made me think of. I got triggered, so I brought that up. I don't know why.
Hey, check this out. Did you see this? Russ was posting this. I don't know anything about it. A little bit, maybe. Let me share it real quick. Hold on. Screen share, please work.
My mouse is not working again.
Okay. Well, all right. This. Oh, start screen home.
I'm seeing nothing.
It'll pop up. For some reason, you're always delayed. Beyond, like the audience sees what I screen share before you do. All right, this is something going on in Mexico. In what is it? Catemaco, Mexico.
Oh yeah, I saw this before. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is something Russ was posting again. I forgot about it. We never talked about it, but this is what's interesting about this story. Like, I'm not trying to just go to the dark place of the internet, but just something just to remind people, about kind of what we do with spiritual warfare and stuff. Is this kind of stuff happens in lots of different places. It's not just Mexico. This was a particularly interesting story because it involved two tourists that were here at this festival. If you go to the dailymail.co co.uk. They have this article here. There are lots of different people that covered this. But they did a large satanic ritual in a temple. They also had a cave. I think Vice even did a piece on this ritual that takes place.
Yeah. Was this supposed to be for show? I can't remember. It was like a tourist attraction, wasn't it, for people who want to experience this? Or
they invited?
A bunch of witches came down to watch it, and then they saw what was going on, and they're like, "Holy crap, man! I don't want any part of this."
It was from what I understand, I could be totally wrong. I'm only getting this from internet sources, which we all know if it's on the internet, it's true. It was an event that tourists were allowed to partake in, right? But it was very much part of a real satanic cult there. They put the event on, and it was a real ritual, and tourists were allowed to watch. They didn't have to participate. So it's kind of like that weird Luciferian church in the United States that's picking up some steam. You know, with what's that guy? He's got like funny colored eyeballs or whatever. You know, what's his Lucian? Is his name Lucian?
Lucian, dude. Don't get me started on him. Dude.
Yeah, I know. I'm not trying to talk about all that, but I'm just saying it was kind of like the same way that they prop up their own church and their format. You know, they advertise it or whatever is something. This is a little bit darker than what like Lucian and his group advertise. This is a real satanic ritual, but they open it up to the public, and people can partake if they want to. So it attracts a lot of people to come down, and they do it up. I mean, it is a spectacle, but the people that are involved in the creation of this thing are really hardcore. And it's just like I watched a video with the testimony of there's a lady from Austin, Texas that went to see it. And there was a reporter there that was reporting it. And just listening to, they did not walk away having had a good experience. They walked away pretty much in tears. And that's what was interesting to me. If it was really just a spectacle, I don't think they would have been so emotionally disturbed. And that's the only way you could describe it, is they were incredibly disturbed and unnerved in the process. It wasn't a show. They encountered something much more, something much darker than they anticipated. But there's a video that kind of shows some of the things that were taking place. This picture. Let's see. Let me go down here. I'm looking for some of the. If you watch the video, you'll see that the scenery that they had was dude. It was just. I'll post a link to it. You guys can watch the video. It was just a lot different and darker than even some of these pictures seem to indicate. But I don't want to run into any nudity or anything. Anyway, long story short, the one male reporter described it as what he thought initially was really, I think he said pretentious. He thought it was really pretentious and over the top. And then he said it turned into something he called interminable, which he meant it just was dragging on forever. And then he said it just went from dragging on to absolutely disturbing. And the woman, as she was describing it, she was just in tears and mortified by what she had just seen. And anyway, I've looked into this group before, man. They've got a cave, and they've got like a temple shrine and a cave, and people come and go at any time of the day or night. They do sacrifices. So when you walk, you remember that picture we showed of Azalea, her brujeria closet? Do you remember that? And she was sanding the floor, getting the blood and the feathers off. Right. It was like that times 100, you know, in this cave where people just flock to. Definitely a charged area, definitely a satanic high place. It just begged the question, though, if this is something that they're openly doing for tourists, if they're openly doing it for the cameras, if people are allowed to travel there and watch, what are these people doing in secret? I mean, what are they doing?
Grove. What are they doing?
What are they doing in secret?
We know what they're doing.
Just another example of a place where there's a very public element about them, but it's also a way to hide in plain sight, because I guarantee you they haven't stopped at just chickens and goats, you know, like they portray in these videos. It's just, you know, it's just something for people to explore if they're interested in praying for or something. These people need salvation. You know, they're a part of something they don't know how to get out of. And it's been going around again for some reason. I don't know why it's been making the news cycle on the internet, but I just thought we'd just address it today. I mean, for what that's worth.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up, because I've been thinking about that story recently, and I thought Vice had done a piece on it, but I don't know. This there's so much misinformation and so much fake stuff that, I mean, how do you know what's true and what's not? So
yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, you just don't know.
I'm researching tonight. I'm looking up a bunch of stories that I know about, but I'm just like tracking them down and I'm putting them in my PowerPoint for my presentation this weekend. And some stuff is coming up, and Satanism is like a fashion statement, man.
It really is. It really is.
I mean, I know we know that, but oh gosh, I don't know, dude. I'm so overwhelmed by everything that I got to fit into this talk, and everything I got to talk about, and everything I got to warn people about, and everything, dude. Looking at all my notes and all the notes, I'll write down notes all day long, and I'll go home, I'll research them, I'll nail down the dates, of when these events took place, and everything from like the Slender Man stabbing to, a couple Satanist experimenters lure a guy in for some kind of sexual gratification up in Milwaukee, and then they start stabbing him. Just, all these little crimes. And it's overwhelming, the amount of Satanism that's hidden in plain sight, that's on the surface, that gets mentioned in the news, but the satanic part doesn't get mentioned. And then even the satanic killings of even experimenters, the ones, I use that term real loosely.
I don't remember.
Because they can't be connected to a Luciferian cult or a generational Satanism cult, but yet they're killing people. Yeah, they're doing sacrifices. So.
This is interesting. This backs you up. Jonathan, I don't remember this in the report, but Jonathan says the reporter said he thought that they were participating in human sacrifice after he saw what they did to the animals, not just sacrificing, but torturing them first. Yeah, that's it. I don't remember where I got that from too, but that group definitely seems to be legit in what they're doing. And it seems to me like a way to hide in plain sight. They make a public spectacle out of something, and then people are like, oh, those are just a bunch of freaks that get out there and kill some animals or whatever, as long as they don't, but it's a way to hide in plain sight, and that's one of the best strategies.
Yeah. I gotta grab something. Keep talking.
Oh, this is awkward. I'm clamming up. I'm freezing up. I don't know what to do with my hands. Just let there be awkward silence.
Anyway, I went to pick up a pizza the other night. Now, I know you don't eat pizza. Can you hear me?
Well, you say that. There's one person in this chat room right now that saw me eat a chicken fried steak a couple weekends ago, so I don't want to lie too much.
Okay, well, so you're out of the closet. But, okay. This is a book I'm looking for. This is an interesting book, man. And this is one of the things here. I'll show this. Ritualistic crime scene investigation. So this is a book Russ gave to me. I don't remember when, but I can't believe how graphic the pictures are in this. And let me see if I can find what I'm looking for. I went to pick up a pizza the other night, and I couldn't believe the prison tattoos on this girl. I can't find it. At the that was taking my order, they were really just they were prison tattoos, right? I don't see it in here, but what it is, the one tattoo she had, I can't remember the name of this symbol, but it's it was a symbol that I saw in a castle in Germany. It was on the floor above the crypt in Wedelsburg Castle, above the room where they do the rituals. It was laid out in marble on the floor. It was I can't remember the name of it. I feel stupid. I should know that. So
what was the crypt? You talking about the crypt?
Yeah, it was the room. It was the war room right above the crypt.
Oh,
and I could have swore it was in this book, but I guess not. So it's like it's connected to the German occultism stuff, and
I don't remember the name of that.
But anyway, I mean, it's not like a light symbol, and here it was on this girl's arm, and she had a pentagram on her arm.
Where was in that castle? Wasn't there? Which one? where did it have the black sun in stone? Was
the
that
Black Sun? The Black Sun. Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh, the Black Sun room. That was because that's where the Order of the Black Sun comes from.
Yeah.
Which you
Yeah,
still
she had
see
that on her arm.
She had the black sun on her arm.
Yeah, the lady's making my pizzas, right? So anyway,
that's interesting. But that could also be. There are some bands though that have knockoffs of that. Like you remember Godsmack?
yeah, this wasn't one.
That wasn't like it just wasn't like a
No,
Godsmack.
well,
cartoon?
it was just like everything else was connected, even though it looked like a kindergartner had drawn it, right, with a tattoo gun.
Everything was there.
Yeah, I mean, there was a pentagram and there was some other stuff that was, it was occult, you know, sigils. I don't know.
She looked like Damien Eccles.
Dude, she was tore up from the floor up, man.
Did you get a good look in her eyes?
She was crazy. She was crazy looking. I really did look at her. I don't know. It was weird. I tried to like stall my you know, my time in there to try and just figure out what was going on with her. And
I just realized I don't think we've ever talked about the Black Sun on the show.
yeah. Anyway,
That's not going to make sense to a lot of people, but essentially, like I'll just sum this up for people when it comes to dealing with like sub-personalities, specifically like chosen ones. There's this Russ is better at explaining it, but you've got this larger occultic organization called the Black Sun, and out of that comes this Order of the Black Flame. Like people carry the flame of the Black Sun. So you'll find German sub-personalities and people that come out of these groups that consider themselves to be a part of the Black Flame. I hope I'm doing that justice. Russ is, I might get something about the nuances of that wrong, but that's essentially what it is. And it seems to all stem back to, at least my understanding, I don't know where Himmler got it. Where did Himmler get it? I mean, it goes back to Vadels, right? Was it the Vadelsberg?
Himmler had a guru whose name was Willigott there. And I mean, I'm sure Himmler, you know, was steeped in it for a long time, but he had his own personal witch doctor guru guy there. I got the book over there.
Lee says Black Sun is Saturnalia. Yeah, I've seen a split there though. The Black Sun, like I agree, Lee. You're right there. There's an offshoot of it though it's not Saturnalia death cult stuff that you see incorporated in these Nazis. There's something else to it, and I can't remember. I can't remember what all it was. Anyway, just reading comments too. So, what happened? What's going on with this? You did a video today or something, didn't you?
Yeah,
I didn't watch it, but you said you were talking about a botched abortion.
Yeah, here.
Real
quick. That's what the symbol looks like. If anybody can see that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, dude. I'm pretty fired up about it. So I'm glad you asked so I can rant about it for a little bit. Okay, here's the thing, man. I mean, this is what we know, dude. Dude. So frustrating for me. It's so frustrating. Okay, let me just say this. April 1st, 2017 in Toledo, Ohio, at the sister clinic of the Founders Abortion Clinic that I go to in Columbus, a girl was taken out of there in a abortion-related emergency. And this abortion clinic, see, you're supposed to have a transfer agreement with a hospital. What that is exactly, I don't understand, but it's some kind of an agreement maybe that you can be taken by ambulance from an abortion clinic to a hospital.
If something goes wrong?
If something goes wrong, yeah.
They do the same thing for, what do they call them? The natural birth places where you have, what do you call those people that you hire out
Midwives.
for home births? Midwives, yeah. They have the same agreements.
Yeah. So anyway, these abortion clinics don't have one because no doctor, no hospital wants to work with them. It's a dark side of medicine. Nobody wants any, to have anything to do with them. So what happens once in a while is an abortion gets botched. They perforate somebody's bowels and they reach in with their forceps. Instead of grabbing a baby's head or arm, they pull out a piece of the girl or something, and it hurts them real bad, right? So, but they could call an ambulance or whatever, call 911, but they don't, because ambulances in front of abortion clinics is not good business. And so what they do is they get one of the workers. I've heard of these stories before. A lot of women die. I don't know what happened to this lady. She was taken to the emergency room in Toledo and dumped out there. They didn't even walk her in or help her or anything or check on her, as far as I know. And the lady went back to work. So this violates the law. They fined him $40,000, and the Ohio Supreme Court has got to make a decision pretty soon what they're going to do. But that's just something that's happened recently. These abortion clinics have a history of malpractice, a history of harming women, a history of just nightmare situations, right? Now, there was a press conference today with pro-life leaders, okay? And basically they said they came out and they said, we're against all abortion. It's killing a baby, right? But here's the thing. There's a Planned Parenthood clinic that does abortions in Columbus. They have a transfer agreement, okay? They're going by the law. And it's not fair that this abortion clinic is breaking the law. They're being allowed to operate without a transfer agreement. They're breaking all kinds of laws. They're being fined. And here's something else that's not really related, but just icing on the cake. They haven't paid taxes since 2012. So why are they allowed to get away with this?
Yeah.
Anyway, then on top of all that, I'm like, okay, what is the feminist flag corps saying about this? They've got to be coming out to protect the women, right? Because they say they care about the women. They're feminists and they're trying to protect the women, and they're all about women's rights and all this. They don't give a crap about that girl that was dumped off at a ER up in Toledo, Ohio. They could care less about her. She's bad news. She's bad press. They don't want to talk about that. That happens all the time, And if it only happened one time, in a gazillion, that would still be too many. But they don't want to talk about, the dangers of abortion and the side effects and the breast cancer and just all of the crazy stuff that goes along with it,
What's the deal with breast cancer? What's it?
Well, there's a high rate of breast cancer from women who have had an abortion, because basically you're going in and you're completely screwing up the chemistry in their body when you kill the baby, right?
Wow.
Because your body goes into a mode of being a mother, and when that's taken away, your body doesn't know what's going on, and it's somehow I don't know how to explain it, but there's tons of really good research out there that explains why women who have had abortions have a higher rate of breast cancer. So I can't articulate it, but I've seen the research.
Amy B says it's a malpractice issue. OBGYNs don't want to get sued for not being able to save a woman who was fatally injured by her abortionist. So the abortion clinic takes responsibility. They ship off the girl to the emergency room, but I guess the surgeons that operate on a girl that's hurt at the clinic, they can't be held responsible or liable for it. That makes sense.
Yeah. But they still don't take responsibility. So yeah, but the clinic, I think they got fined $40,000 for this one incident. And the Feminist Flag Corps, I don't like calling out groups by name on this show, but I can't help it.
Well, people should go find them on Instagram and drop some love on their page.
Well, yeah, hold on, because here's the thing. If you go, this is what I would suggest. Don't say anything. Just follow them. Follow them on Facebook. Follow them on Instagram, and don't say anything, okay? Because we could get in trouble for they could point it back to us and say, okay, we're telling people to go harass them. We're not telling you to go harass them. I follow them on Facebook. I'm not harassing them, but I want to know what my enemy's up to. So don't harass them. Follow them. Pray for them. They're completely blinded by the demonic.
It's awful. Like their posts are awful. They're awful.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
They're psychotic. They defy logic, and they're double-minded. Double-minded.
It's like a Nazi organization.
What did you think? What did you think about Planned Parenthood offering free abortions to Harvey survivors?
Yeah, exactly, dude.
What is that? Why? Oh, we want to help with the hurricane effort, so free abortions. What? Because when you're locked in a shelter, the only thing you can do to pass the time is get somebody pregnant? Is that their train of thought? So we're going to have an increase of abortions because everyone's stuck in their house without power? I don't understand how you come. I don't understand how you go from like hurricane survivor to like disaster relief, like disaster relief abortions. I don't understand the progression there.
Yeah, emergency abortion needs.
They call it emergency abortion. What?
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a if you go to their Facebook page, you can see one of the top posts. It says testimony of Kelly Copeland against Senate Bill 164. And I'm not sure who Kelly Copeland. Okay, it says NARAL, Pro-Choice Ohio. NARAL is a group that wants to protect abortion rights, okay? So, and Kelly Copeland must be the NARAL executive director, to testify against Senate Bill 164, the Down syndrome abortion ban. So there's a Senate bill that's trying to stop the people from aborting babies because they're Down syndrome, right? And the feminist, the NARAL, is trying to stop that. They're like, no, we need to be able to kill these people. Is anybody else outraged by this? You know, I was telling Jared today, if anybody wants, if they can't find anything else to do and they want to fight something satanic and they want to be at the front lines of the satanic fight, go to where they're sacrificing babies and do something. Pray about it. Stand in the gap. You know, dude, last Saturday morning, I'm so proud of my daughter. She got the cops called on her in our town here. Probably first time they said in I don't know how many years the cops been called out to Planned Parenthood. It was because my daughter was there. She was standing at the back door calling out to the women saying there is another pregnancy center here in town where you can get free service, where it's not connected to baby killing, where it's not connected to all of these crazy, just anti-women, services. And they said that she was harassing the people coming in. They called the cops on her. So, praise God for that. And we're going to get this one shut down. I'm telling you that right now, because people don't want to go to Planned Parenthood anymore because they know what they're associated with. They know what they're known for. They're known for killing babies. So all these little clinics in little towns are shutting down, and they're kind of consolidating everything to the bigger clinics, like in Columbus, the bigger cities. But nobody wants services from them anywhere. There's so many local pregnancy centers all over the United States that provide prenatal care. And you can look, you can follow my daughter on Facebook, and she has a little thing here. I want to find this and read this for you guys, because she put this up about her, about what happened on Saturday morning. So it says, as two young women were walking out of Planned Parenthood this past Saturday, I asked if they had heard about Richland Pregnancy Services just a little ways down the road. They said no. I shared with them some statistics on Planned Parenthood and their history of harvesting baby parts. I also told them of some services that Richland Pregnancy Service offers Planned Parenthood does not, like prenatal care. They don't offer prenatal care, and they said they would rather go to a place that actually supports women and not a place that pretends to. So completely insane. Completely insane. Everything's flipped upside down. This is very close to my heart, and for anybody that's seen our last couple shows, know that I've been involved in this fight for a long time. I pulled out a flyer that I made almost 20 years ago. Actually, when my daughter was about 1 year old, about 16 years ago, about when I went door to door warning people about the racism that Planned Parenthood was practicing. So anyway,
what's amazing is how some of the posts I've seen or the hate directed towards you and Evangeline, they actually accuse you guys of being racist, which is just insane.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, what are you talking about? Anyway, I told you I'd hold you to the time. We're out of time, dude. You got to go. I got to go. We've got things to do. Shout out to, let's see some random shout outs. Amy B40. Amy B40. I saw your comments. You actually had some interesting stuff to say about Ursula Le Guin. I didn't realize she'd written all this other stuff. I was pretty new to her, so I'm pretty excited to check out some of her crazy, depressing literature. Chastity Foster, I think you're pretty new to the Through the Black family. Welcome, Chastity. Doc Illusion, what's up? Anyway, those are just some new names that I see in here that I haven't given a shout out to. So shout out to you guys. Everybody else.
Chad Schaefer, have you heard of him?
Only in certain circles in a negative context.
Oh, okay. He's
probably I'm not sure we can trust that guy.
He's probably gone now anyway. So, hey, God bless Chastity. She's been checking out all of our shows and commenting on it and sharing videos. Appreciate that. God bless you, sister.
Yeah, you do not go unnoticed. Anyway, everybody else, we love you. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Get Greg Reed on. Peace.